want to use your cosmetic sponge and pounce that away, or blend it in at the very least. So it looks natural. It doesn't look like you've painted a streak on there. It might take a couple of tries because when you pounce, you might actually pull the paint right out, in which case you're just going to go right back in and apply it again. Keep a steady hand as much as you can. I find that this step is going to be very important for the baby to look natural, because if you're careless and you just let it get all over the skin, then it's going to look like you painted it. But really, it should just represent the shadow that forms in the skin where it creases. And so there, again, especially at the ends, do you want to make sure you pounce and kind of just let it feather out. Also, another tip I want to give you that I realized as I was baking the dolls, that they weren't fully curing. You're told to bake at 265 for 8 minutes. Well, you might need to know that you need to preheat your oven, because most ovens do not obviously go right to 265. It takes time for them to warm up. And so you want to take at least 10 minutes, preheat the oven, allow it to reach the proper temperature, then cook for the 8 minutes. And so what I found was that the color was still coming off because the dolls weren't fully cured. So that's just something you might need to know and keep in mind for when you're reborning your own dolls. And so again, especially when you're in these tight areas like the mouth, which I haven't done yet, but you still want the corner of the mouth to have a little darkness in those little cracks. So see how you want to make sure you get the excess off first, because it can create that pool of liquid, and then you want to have to get it out again. And then you have the creases in the eyes. Just using a very fine line. Take your time. Make sure you can see. And just get that down in there. And once again, if any drips out, pounce it. Wipe it off, because it's not cured, obviously. It's not going to set, so you can wipe it off. And there are also creases right here. Very fine creases in these puffy spots under the eye. You want to make sure you get that. Now, different from the creases will be shading for this African American doll. So these areas, in order to give it the definition and the tonal differences, we want to make sure that we highlight in here, shade it here, so that you can see the difference. And so in here, this is somewhat of a crease. So you want here, as well as here, should be darker. Again, you don't want it to look painted, so make sure you pounce. Where else? We have under the chin. And we're also in the ears at this point. I want that to be darker up under the ear here. You're creating the shadows. Again, it creates that depth, the 3D illusion, which helps make the baby look real. Later we're going to have to go in and use even darker color, burnt umber perhaps, mix it with some black so that we can create what looks like an ear canal. I still have left to do, as I said, the shading, the lips, the palms, the nails. So it does take some patience to do this, I must say. I thought I would be able to do it quickly, but no. To do it right is going to take some time. So exercise patience. Keep on going. And if you need to redo something, wipe it off and do it again. So I will continue to work with the creases. See how this looks a little light here for some reason? I think maybe I took in some of the yellow instead of the brown. So I'm going to change that. Do it again. This fine liner brush is perfect for these areas. It gets right in there. Okay. I'll let you see some pictures in the end after I finish working on the baby here. This one we'll be using the same color.